What's up, everybody? This is the nutrition video that I have. I don't know how you say it. This is the nutrition video I foreshadowed a little bit in some earlier takes that I've done. Basically, I'm going to go over nutrition just a little bit, why it matters, and beyond that, I'll be showing you what I'm eating at 3 weeks out. I do have some things I want to talk about nutrition related. I put a story up on my Instagram. I've mentioned this before, but one person in particular asked me to make an in-depth nutrition video. So this is going to be me kind of going over the basics, touching on why nutrition matters and the different ways you can go about eating to fit your goals. Just cooking, I'll go over everything, and then at the very end, I'll show you what I'm eating at 3 weeks out from my show. The show is on May 24th. I'm 3 weeks and 3 days out, and today's a rest day. So I'm going to prepare all my food for today, and we'll talk some more right after I get this started. Psych, I am actually going to show you what I'm eating real quick because I forgot to do that. So I have, like I said, today's a rest day. I've got 5 meals in total. I already made a shake. I'm not going to go over the shake. It's just whey and blueberries in a blender. That's literally it. But beyond that, I've got 4 other meals that are all going to be protein and some carbs. So today for the rest day, I've got 2 meals with 150 grams of potato each. Those are going to be my carbs for today. And then I've got 2 meals of 180 grams of chicken, and I've got 1 meal of 200 grams of lean beef. So I'm going to be making 96% beef. So leanest you can get it for sure. And then I've got this big ass thing of chicken that I'm going to be making as well. This should last me more than just today, but I'm not going to make all of it right now. I don't mind to cook every couple days. I like my food fresh. But for somebody that's looking to prep their meals out multiple days, even a week in advance, you can get big packs of chicken like this and make it all in one go. It's really not as hard as people make it out to be. You just have to dedicate 15 to 30 minutes to do it. It's not that bad. Beyond that, that's it. So now I'm going to start preparing the food, and we'll talk again after. I try and clean up the chicken as much as I possibly can. Nutrition is how your body responds to your training, quite literally. I'm going to get into some of the different ways you can eat for different goals and give a brief rundown of what those may be. What's something that you would typically eat when you're bulking? And I don't mean just a meal, and I can talk about that, but I just mean like the way you're eating. You know, what's a meal plan look like for a bulk? A lot of people are going to be different. Carbs are going to be like the main thing that's different there, but across the board, I would say protein should be your body weight or 1.5 times your body weight, in that range. If I'm 190 pounds, I'm eating like 220 grams of protein. I think that's a fair range there. But you do want to eat a lot of protein. That's what's going to help you get big. Now, something to consider and what varies for a lot of people are the carbs. Me personally, I eat a lot of carbs in the off season. When I'm bulking. Some people don't tolerate carbs that much and they get fat a little quicker. Something for bulking, my favorite meal at least is pasta. So you can make dry, you weigh your pasta dry weight and put it with beef, bison, turkey, chicken. It doesn't matter. Pasta is a great source of carbs, especially in the off season. And you pair it with pretty much any protein. Put some pasta sauce on it for some extra calories. I'll eat that 3-4 times a day. It is that good. Bulking in general, you're going to want to increase your calories ever so slightly every couple of weeks, and you're just trying to put on some size, That comes with understanding how your body is responding to the food you're eating. You've got to make decisions based on how your body responds to the food you're eating. So if you notice that your weight starts to stagnate a little bit, that's when you increase calories, and you just keep building up. Normally in carbs, maybe a couple fats there. Protein stays pretty much the same the whole time. The second way you can eat, cutting. People are going to lower those carbs. So let's say I start out at 400 grams of carbs. That's what I'm at, and I want to cut. Maybe I'll start with 50 grams of carbs every week or two, and weight will start to lower. Protein stays pretty high. That's what's going to preserve your muscle. And fats, they may drop. You may, through a cut, drop your added fat. So you'll just have beef or eggs, and those are fats that come with your food. but you take out olive oil, you take out cheese, milk, whatever added fats you have, avocado. People do different things, but you start to eliminate those things, and you start to dwindle those calories. The main difference, of course, is going to be your calorie intake. It seems like some people don't understand the concept of like your body has a baseline amount of calories that it's willing to burn in a day. When you do cardio or train, you're burning calories as well, so that's your overall energy expenditure. And simply put, if you eat less than that, you have to burn reserves, fat reserves, in order to make up that energy difference. That's how people lose weight. So simply eat less to lose weight or increase activity. So eat less, do more. If you're bulking, eat a lot more. I get asked sometimes as well about the non-bodybuilding life. I may have my roommate Matt talk about it at some point. He makes really good food for somebody that's not bodybuilding but eats really clean and has a good time preparing his food and has fun creating recipes, and he takes his time to figure those things out, which I applaud him for. I'm not that way. That life, you can experiment with things, keep calories low. Maybe you'll just eat at a maintenance, so you figure out what your body's burning or about how many calories you need to eat to maintain your weight, and you just kind of chill there, and you just find recipes that fit a certain macro range. I think the normal macro range that most people should or could follow is 30% protein, 50% carbs, and 20% fat, personally. Or 30, 40, 30. Let's see, what is that? Yeah, 30, 40, 30. 30% protein, 40% carbs, 30% fat. That could work as well, depending on who you are. But give those a shot. If you're not a bodybuilder, just follow a macro range, just track your calories. Learn what you're eating and find ways to make it good. It's not an eating disorder to care about what you eat. I've got potatoes in the air fryer. I've got chicken and beef here on the stove. I am going to finish making this food, and I'll show you what I'm eating at 3 weeks out. You'll notice I didn't really talk about weighing your food. If you're a bodybuilder or you just take your food that serious, like Matt that I just referenced a minute ago, still weighs his food. You'll notice I didn't really talk about that. That's because people are going to find different measurements. I think that the amount of food you're eating is oriented towards you and your goals. Of course, I can give you a general number of measurement you should be eating, but ultimately I would use a calorie tracker such as MyFitnessPal, or I know there's a couple other ones. That gives you a general idea of what your calories and macros look like for the day. And like MyFitnessPal has a barcode scanner that you can just scan the barcode. That will tell you how much food you should be eating and if you should weigh it out and whatnot. You can track it dry weight or cooked weight. Like meat, I weigh cooked, which I'll throw some B-roll in of me weighing this protein out because, like I said, I'll use Ziplocs and I'll prep this food for the rest of today or for a couple days in advance and throw it in the fridge, and then whenever I'm ready for it, I just pop it in the microwave and eat it. Of course, it's not as fresh, and like I said earlier, I do like to cook my food every couple of days to keep it a little fresh. But as I was saying, I do weigh it out for myself, but for you, you should figure out how much you should be eating and then weigh out those portions yourself. I just use a regular food scale, weigh it out to the gram. At this point in prep, I'm actually weighing salt as well. But of course, that's like taking it up to another level, and most people don't need to do that. I just think everyone should have a fair amount of salt on their food. That should be it, though. Here I've got the chicken, potatoes, lettuce, and sriracha. I should have some clips that I'll be planning to show you how I did it and made it. All I've got left is the salt. So actually, let me do that shit real quick. Just like that. All right, so anyway, I've made this meal here, weighed everything out. So like I said, it's 180 grams of chicken, 150 grams of potatoes, 50 grams of greens. In this case, I use like coleslaw, prepackaged bags. And then I've got some sriracha on there. Right now I'm weighing it out to be between 10 to 15 grams. And then I've got 1.5 grams of salt. So this is the meal that I've made. Right now, 3 weeks out, it's really like this on repeat. I've got one high day a week. So I'll give you the weekly rundown. Monday's a high day. I'm eating like 3,300 calories. That involves a lot of rice, a lot of the same protein, so 2 meals of chicken, 1 beef. with rice for everything, and then some stuff before training. I've got my carb powder, intro workout, stuff like that. The rest of the training days are low days, so it's like this. Pretty much just the one time, and before I train I actually have some applesauce. That's mainly my carbs there, and that's about it. And then today for rest days I've got 2 meals of potatoes, but only because I don't have carbs for my intro workout shake that I would normally have if I was working out. So that's pretty much it. 3 weeks out, it's not that much, man. I forgot to say the calories of what I was eating today. It's like 2,000 or 1,800. Like I think we've dipped below 2,000. Training days are like 2,100. So it's hungry times, man. But you know, we're getting through it. Getting pretty shredded. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I'm going to wrap this up here. Let me know if you have any thoughts, if you have any things you want to see, anything at all. You can text me, DM me, or leave it in the comments below. I definitely appreciate it. But I guess that concludes it, so I'll leave it there. I appreciate you, and I'll see you next time.